Hello. Welcome to Matters of DeCorum. I'm Scott Corum. This is what matters to me. This looks different today. There's a reason for that. 2012, I needed art equipment badly so that I could do art runs for massive projects like the Victory Core book and stuff like that. And an angel investor stepped in and bought me a Wacom 21 HD. It was massive and super effective, and it saved my life. And for 6 years, that thing has kept me going and given me proper artistic outlet and allowed me to do things of higher quality than I would other have been able to. And 2 weeks ago, it died. It's past its service life. I put hundreds of miles on the pen tip, and it just the screen flickered and went out, and it's sitting in Andrew's room right now. He has friends who do component level restoration, so that may come back to life, and if it does, he wants to learn how to use it. I'm happy to teach him. Another angel investor hooked me up. This is the new Wacom 21.5 HD. It is smaller. It's mounted on an articulated arm that allows me to have the flexibility of having it where I need it on this particular surface. It is a lifesaver. The moment I plugged it into my workhorse died terribly. It's not too bad. I was able to have it sent to a service place that my family knew about, and the motherboard died. The motherboard chose the moment I tried to turn it back on after attaching my new Wacom to die. It was that kind of a week. It's better now. So, on to matters. There are a lot of skills involved in being a game master. When you're a dungeon master, when you're sitting at the front of that table behind the screen, rolling dice and doing all the calls, that's a huge amount of skills that you need to bring to play, and a lot of work. It's very rewarding. I really enjoy doing it. Sometimes I enjoy sitting down and playing. Sitting down and playing can be a very skilled exercise as well. You're not as bound to use so many skills as the Dungeon Master is. You have a lot more freedom in what you do. You are controlling one character, usually, in the scenario. But there's some stuff that will make you a better player. I talked a lot about how to be a good dungeon master or a good game master. I thought I would talk a little bit about being a good player today. It super helps to know the rules. Everyone starts someplace, and not everyone is going to know the rules when they first sit down to the table. So picking up the rules is a really important factor in being a good player. One, so that the dungeon master doesn't have to take all their time constantly informing you of what the rules are. They've got a lot of other things to do, and part of what they do is being an educator for that rule set. You know, they have to know it because they're arbitrating it. A certain period of how do I do this, what do I roll, is required for being a player. A certain period. Past a certain point, even if you've had to take some notes or borrowed a book, how do I do this, what do I roll, is something you should probably work out. It saves you time being told by the game master. You don't have to keep asking. The game master doesn't have to keep telling you. It keeps the action at the table moving. We're not stopping constantly so that someone else can inform you what you can roll. And when there is someone else near you who is at the how do I do this, what do I roll stage, you can take a little bit of the burden off the dungeon master, lean over and tell them what to do. It allows for things to flow a little bit more easily. Learn the rules. It's not hard for most systems. If you've got something like D&D 5e, there's a fairly simple flow to the rules. Your character can do a certain amount of things. Everything your character can do is written right there in the book. Make a note. A line or two. It's not hard, and as time goes on, you'll pick it up a little bit faster. Get something like GURPS or whatnot. Get used to indexing the book. Just reading the index is really good. Steve Jackson Games has never written a book with a bad index. You can find what you're looking for. You can look it up. If you are sitting at the table looking up what you need to do on your next turn, that's perfectly fine. If the dungeon master is sitting at the table looking up what you are going to do on your next turn, that means the dungeon master isn't doing anything for anyone else at the moment, much less the scenario. Learn the rules. Learn the rules or learn to reference the rules. Either way, that helps a lot. You may not be the best writer in the world. You may not be a novelist, or you may not be interested in writing. You may just be there to roll dice and hit things. Have a backstory. Have some backstory for your character. You can steal a backstory. Oh, my character is the son of a warrior priest and a princess, but the princess died and the warrior priest turned evil, so I was given to my aunt and uncle to raise at their farm in the desert. And then my father, who has hidden his identity from me, sent soldiers to find something around me and killed my aunt and uncle, and now I'm out looking for vengeance, not knowing that my father's the person I'm after. That plugs into D&D pretty well. It's Luke Skywalker, but it doesn't matter. Steal from the best. Find a backstory that seems interesting to you and just throw it. There's nothing wrong with that. Having a backstory for your character with some people that you have been involved with, or organizations that you've worked with, things that you have done right, things that you've done wrong, gives the game master things to incorporate your character into the game, and makes their game world a richer place. You're adding real estate to the world that they are creating that makes it not only bigger for the game master, but gives you a little ownership over it as you step in. You walk in, you've got a place, you've got a thing, you've got people, and it allows the game master to integrate the player character with that world in such a way that, yeah, you are all writing a story together. Throw in on the backstory. It helps more than you know. 3. This is both advice and a gripe. It is not the game master's job to tell the player what their character's motivation is. The game master can provide elements that can lead to a motivation, but the player is responsible for creating a character who has enough motivations to be involved in the adventure, so that the game master does not have to break away from running a game for everyone to kowtow to your player character. There are players who want to be involved, want someone to actively involve them. I ain't got time for that. I got a table full of people. Why would I run around with these people? I don't know. Why would you? You made the character. Did you make a character who is so uninvolved with what is going on here that they feel no reason. Oh, there's people being killed in the street. Well, why would I be involved in that? Oh, it's a treasure map. Why would I follow a treasure map? That's not the game master's problem. You make a character that has hooks, motivations, wants, needs. I need the money. Pay me and I will do this. That's fair enough. I'm seeking justice. There's an injustice. I should go after this. I have been guilty of this in the past. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? And that is not because the game master did not present a compelling world. It's because I made a character without considering how that character was going to fit into the existing campaign. My character was super interesting. I really liked it. It had its own agendas, but they didn't match what everyone else was doing or what needed doing in order for the story to progress. That wasn't the game master's problem, no matter how much I tried to make it. And I learned from that. Game master has a story they are trying to tell, so does everyone else. If you are demanding that you be properly motivated by other people, you are trying to have other people tell your story as opposed to you being involved in everyone's story. Have some motivations. Have some needs or wants. Have something that will hook you. Know why your character does things and involve that why in the story everyone else is telling. If you do those three things, know the rules, have a backstory, and involve your motivations with everyone else's story, that will shave time off of the game masters needing to do things for you as a player or for your player character that takes everyone else out of the game for a little bit. The game master starts looking for a rule because someone is doing something obscure. Pick up your book. Pick up a book next to you. Look. Try and find that rule. Most games have good indexes or a decent table of contents or both. Find the rule. Game master puts out a battle map. Get out your figures. You have some pens to contribute. Don't make the game master do their job alone. You're all there to tell a story. The game master has an entire world to arbitrate. Help out. That's it. Keep your... Okay. This one might be controversial. Everyone wants to do what they want to do. You are there so your character gets spotlight. You are there to do clever things or fun things or get things out of your system. That's fine. Player A does their action 3 to 5 minutes. They describe what they're doing and they make their rules and the game master tells them what happens. Player B takes 2-3 minutes. Player C not that involved, it's about a minute. Player D comes up and they have this back thing that they want to do. I want to go do this other thing. I'm going to break away, and they have this flowery speech and they're communicating beautifully and it's 35 minutes that everyone else is wondering when they get to do their stuff. Don't do that. There will be a chance for you to get that out. Get it out when it's time. Get it out on your turn. I love the groups that I'm in. I don't have any bad ones right now. But people get enthusiastic, an idea jumps in their head, going around the table talking about what it is, but this guy's got to get it out right now or it's going to leave his head, and boom, I got to do this thing and do this thing and do this thing, and then I'm going to do this thing. Well, okay, I'd like to do and I'm going to do this thing. All right. Well, I'm going to do this thing. Oh, if you're going to do that thing, then I can do this thing on top of that and do this thing and do this thing. We call it happy puppy syndrome. Because this player is so happy and jumpy, and they want to get involved in everything, and everything that someone else is doing. Oh, I can be part of that. I can be part of that. I can be part of that. And people need to do their own thing. Yeah, you need to do things as a group. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to have this conversation with this guy who isn't letting himself known to the rest of the group, and we're going to work out. I'm going to be there and I'm going to talk about this. No, you're not there. Yeah, but I really want to. I've got this thing. Happy puppies, and don't be the happy puppy. Be enthusiastic, yes, on your turn. Contribute to the group. If there's a thing out there, can I get some help with this? Or maybe we could work out a way. Oh yeah, I can work out a way. That's great. I reach into my pocket for my keys. I reach into her pocket too, and I'm going to pull out twice the men's keys. Don't do that. Your enthusiasm is duly noted, and we're really happy that you want to involve yourself with everyone. But for God's sake, let me pull my own keys out of my pocket. I've got a deck stat for a reason. Well, this is getting ranty. Know the rules. Man, I'm losing track. Know the rules, provide a backstory, have a grip on your character's motivations, let those motivations merge with the rest of the party's. Don't be the happy puppy. I think if you manage those four, you're probably going to find that not just your playing, but your entire session, everyone's game session, goes a little more smoothly and a little more pleasantly, and you get a better overall story out of it. You might not get as much story as you really wanted to get, but you will get a better story overall, and the game master can take the freedom that free resources that the game master could otherwise have to use to instruct people on the rules, or make one character conform to the motivations of another. You free up the game master from having to do that, and the game master is free to make everyone's story richer and fuller, and everyone benefits. It was a mage game. I ran a mage game. We had a happy puppy in the mage game. And the problem with the happy puppy in the mage game is because in mage, if you know the right spheres, if you've got the right control over time and space and coordination, you can be involved in everybody's stuff all at once. That doesn't make it less annoying because you're following the rules to do it. It just means that you have a justification. That was not an entertaining situation. I'm not going to name names. You know who you are. Well, thank you very much for following me through this particular rant. Things can move forward a little bit more easily now that I have my stuff back together. My brain seems to be working at a slightly higher rate. I've got really good coffee, thanks to my family. Anna and Andrew make cold brew for me. There is usually 3 to 4 liters in the fridge at the beginning of the day. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, give me a thumbs down. Feedback is feedback. If you have your own experiences, your own advice for being a good player, rules that players should follow, if there's anything else you'd like to hear me talk about, or subjects you'd like to hear me cover, leave me a comment below. I'll love getting a comment. You'll love leaving me one. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, why not? My channel is awesome. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you do hit the subscribe button, hit the little notification bell next to it so you're alerted as soon as my videos become available. If you would like to contribute in a more substantial way, I invite you to hit me up on my Patreon page, www.patreon.com. DeCorum and consider donating. Absolutely anything helps. It allows me to make better videos more often. In the meantime, thank you very much for your time and your attention. I'm DeCorum. This is what has mattered to me, and I will see you next time on the next Matters of DeCorum.